Well, I'm almost through with page 9. I ended up doing a speed run yesterday because I had a bunch of extra stuff on the audio I couldn't figure out how to fix. So it ends with this note. This messenger pigeon bird gives to Prometheus. And I thought the way I would do it is just I would use a guide. I actually had some text. I think it's this one here. And then I would letter over the top of it. And then I decided I wanted to change some of the words and I wanted to change the lettering. I still want to change some of it, like the R. I want to have this triangle R, and there's another R here. But it's starting to become this ransom note sort of situation. But, it is what it is. It's fine. It's readable. Choices were made. Okay. Now, what else is going on here? I realized I didn't have enough black ink on here, so I'm doing this kind of heavy, not quite a focus line, but kind of. I see these a lot in old Batman comics. So what would we even call these? It's definitely a variation on the focus line technique. Focus daggers. Focus shadows. And I'm not sure I'm getting it right. I'm not using a guide, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I mean, it is what it is. It looks like it kind of works, but it's also kind of off. I'm still thinking I'm just going to use it and just kind of chalk it up to, that's just how this page is going to go. Let's see. Should you call that laziness? I'm not sure. Maybe. It definitely needs the black ink to balance, though. All right, so what we got to do. But indeed. So we got to break out our speech bubbles. And then we're probably good to go, So let's do this. Let's take our ink and just reduce the opacity. Go back on the bubbles. Grab a technical pen. What is it that comes from off camera this way? Try and use the opposite directions for different characters whenever possible. Just simplifies everything. Okay. Now, because this is a black outline over the black ink, There might be a problem, and there is. This looks very bad right here. I'm looking at it. Just looks unbalanced. What I need to do is warp it a bit. Well, it is what it is. What's happening down here? Should I put even more? Like, does that make sense? Sometimes you're just going to end up with pages that you're not happy about. I know that's true. Um, but I'm not that devastated over it. I mean, I'll probably look back on this in a year's time and really cringe on it, but I gotta get to page 10. Hmm. Maybe. Um, it could be a matter of just, and this is just a possibility, but let's throw it in there. Putting it on its own layer. Oops. What if I did it? I just filled in kind of the vignette oval. It's another possibility. It's not the worst idea. It looks very old-timey. Like I said, it's kind of an old Batman kind of trick. When Batman would reveal a clue. Ugh. This area just looks a little messy up here. Maybe that's the issue. Why don't I do this? Alright, let's do this. Let's just erase this whole area and redo it. Or even better, let's just erase this whole thing. Leave the hands up, that's fine. I think you can have just, you can have a few mistakes, but you can't have all mistakes. It's bad just to leave the oval, actually. That's not hurting it. Alright. So if this is the oval, let's do this over here, first of all. The oval is a spotlight, like a spotlight on a clue. And this is actually looking a lot more regular. What I've got, okay. That's actually I mean, it's not the best, but it feels like pretty unobtrusive. You know what I mean? And I'm not reusing the focus lines 2 panels at a time. This me no likey. What's going on there? All right. You know what I'm also not liking is this bubble. All right. How am I going to get a start on page 10 under these circumstances? Oh, and there's also something else missing. I didn't draw Hondo. That's right over here. So let's fix that as well. So maybe there is only this page getting done today. How do we make his eyes go the right directions? All right. Let's move this tail. And then now the toughest part is the wings. In this case, just one wing. As I think we got the general form. Let's do a little bit more inking and shading. Like, is it visible? Yeah, I think it's visible. It's like, well, people wouldn't question it. They could see it. All right. Which of these letters look bad? I think that G looks bad. I'm trying to give it a pseudo-Greek look. Let's give him another line. Looks like someone knows we're here, and then he's going to say, Mount Lycaon is not far up ahead. ION. I'm here. Select all. Where is it? 14? I think that's what I did the sizing at. 6-point leading. Let's put it right over here. And yeah, that looks okay. I mean, we got to stack it probably a little bit better. That's a good, that's a good stack right there. All right. If that is our stack, we got to put it above the bubbles layer. Activate bubbles and technical pen, and we're off to the races. I'm looking at this. Give me back to the bubbles. Give me damn bubbles. All right, here we go. Let's try flood fill. There it is. All right, now we've given the reader all the information. All right, I think we're okay. We still have some time, right? It's only 17 minutes. Do we want to like at least start page 10? Let's at least start it. As you can see, there is no page 10 just yet, so let's give it a margin. I just eyeball the margins at this point. This is a 16 by 11 by 16, 16 this way, 11 that way, piece of canvas. And I assume about an inch of a margin. And the way I do this, so if you look at the drawing guide, look, I almost perfectly eyeballed it. I don't know if you can see that. That's me. I've done it so many times that I'm like off by millimeters. Millimeters. All right, let's take that back off. And I'm not always so close, actually. That's kind of a lucky shot there. But I put it at about there. And if we want to go full bleed later, or we want to do something a little different, that's okay. But as long as we know where our margins are, because the margin's there whether you go full bleed or not. That is the safe zone. All right, now once we got that, we need somehow, and we've been doing this every page, where we have like a time passes. So I think that we could have them, kind of traveling up the mountain. And one way to do that, first of all, let's give it another layer. This is how I do my layers. I put in a second layer and I reduce the opacity about half. That way I know I'm never going to be trotting on the wrong layer, because I already know, one side is going to be this is a boring way to do it. I was thinking of just doing a side view of them plodding up a mountain. But, mountain climbing, but they're not mountain climbing, they're just heading up a mountain. Let's have them kind of coming up this way and talking. And then they have to set off some kind of trap. This is the whole reason that we have them on Mount Lycaon. is because I mean, he would just attack them as soon as they hit Arcadia. If not, we have to have it's like a trap where they know they can't leave. Like they're somehow in a bubble of force or something where they can't leave the area. So they've stumbled into a trap. And oh, also, we need at least one panel where they give the history of Mount Lycaon. There's two important facts here: the birthplace of Zeus, right, and then also where the reason it's called Lycaon is because Lycaeus, I think, sacrificed his son, and then Zeus turns him into a werewolf. It's the first werewolf, right? And that's where I'm doing my crossover idea of the werewolves in Arcadia, which is Iseult and Silverclaw, and I think I was even going to make Silverclaw like a guest star in this comic, so I'm still thinking about that. Haven't quite gotten there yet. I mean, he might show up at the very end, or I might actually just put him in there. But they're coming up, and we're going to kind of tilt the floor line a little bit, right? And as they're coming up, his head will be turned a little bit this way because he's going to be giving him a little bit of the history of the mountain, and in giving Abrax the history, he's giving you, the reader, the history at the same time, so you kind of understand the richness of the history of these lands that they're entering into. Um, all right, so we got this. And then let's do it in two panels. He's going to point to something that traps them, and Abrax will notice it first. I don't know if I like this one. I did something like this already. That'd be something Greek. Let me bring up Pinterest for a second. Greek stele. Remember we had the dimensional stele right before. So we have something. Maybe it could even be like a statue of a sphinx or something. And maybe it's really big and they're looking up at it. Like, wow, what is that? So, wait. We got to make this a little bit. Okay, if it's a sphinx, I've been drawing Oh, you know what we could do? Instead of a sphinx, we'll make it a winged wolf. And the reason is because of the werewolf connection. So it's like a statue that they see in the wilderness. I may have to make a better wolf. Something like that. Except I need to make it bigger and I need to do it from the other angle. So we're seeing the underside of the statue because of the perspective. And then the characters, much shorter and down below. I still don't like this mid um, this mid horizon deal. What's up with that? Is there a better way to go? Let me think. I mean, what do we do in the foreground? We could do a low horizon. You know, they're supposed to be getting up the mountain. Make these two characters pretty small down here. And then somehow, let's do this as if it's from below. You know, they notice that the eyes light up or something. And then maybe we see this whole area. How do we show that they're somehow trapped? Maybe their top of their heads. Oh, yeah, we could do that. This is my Charlie Brown and Linus deal where you just show the top of the heads. I don't care. Um, how do we show? How about this? How about it starts to rain like a storm? Here's Hondo flying up. Okay, I think that'll work for 10. Like, this lightning bolt goes off, and they're going to realize they can't leave on the next page, and then start its attacks by page 11. I think I'm going over 16 pages. I think we can't just have the battle going for 5 pages. Maybe we can. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So there's roughs for page. What are we calling this? Roughs for page 10. And we'll have more. We're going to iteratively